There we go. And share my screen with you guys. Oh, not that screen. This screen. Can you guys see my screen? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Thumbs down, thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, so what I'm actually going to be talking about is how to crush the holidays without gaining weight and how to essentially use the holidays to your advantage to fuel your fitness goals while enjoying the season. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that most people during the holidays, they will gain 10 to 15 pounds of body fat. And then by the time the new year comes, they start significantly behind. And what we want to do with you guys is we really want to show you how to completely crush the holiday season without gaining the weight and while using the fuel from the holiday season to your advantage. So it's going to give you guys a very different perspective on how to take advantage of the holidays. In my opinion, as a coach, it's never about like, okay, we need to fall off track. It's about using these things to our advantage to build strength, build lean muscle tissue, and get right on track. Now, if you guys agree with that, open up the chat, drop some fire emojis on there, just so I can gain a gauge of where everyone is at here. Let me see it here. Got the chat open. Cool, and let's begin. So, why does holiday weight gain happen? So this is what we need to go over. Well, number one, there's an abundance of calorie dense foods. That's like the biggest one, right? So the more foods that you consume, the more body fat that you can put on, right? And usually most people, they go overboard. Like I know a lot of people at the beginning of the month that I know personally or have talked to, they're like, oh, it's December. Who the fuck cares? I can start over in the new year. But if you have that mindset, you're going to like go backwards and not forward, right? And we want to make sure that we move forward in the best way possible. Make sense, guys? Say it makes sense in the chat box if it makes sense. Second is more social events and less structured eating. It's not just Christmas anymore. There's work parties, there's Christmas parties, there's Friendsmas, there's like two family holiday parties, right? So everything kind of like really adds up to one another. Like even for myself, there's like a Friendsmas this Saturday. On Christmas Eve, there's a Christmas Eve party. There's a Christmas Day lunch, a second Christmas Day lunch, and then there's a Christmas Day dinner. Like, how are you people supposed to stay on track with all these things going on? And then the culture behind Christmas and the holidays is you got to stuff your face. You got to drink alcohol. You got to drink eggnog. It's Christmas season. You need to enjoy it, right? But that's like the wrong mindset that you want to go in towards that. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself this most important question: what are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish? So write down the chat box here. What are your fitness goals right now? Like, what are you looking to accomplish from now until the end of the year? It's very important to get super clear on this. Reduce activity due to busy schedules. That's another big one. Even though some people might be taking time off, even though it's the holidays, people will reduce their working out due to spending time with the family or prepping for Christmas, right? That's not a problem to do, but you shouldn't stop. Reducing it's fine, but stopping it is not a good thing. And then lastly, stress and emotional eating. A lot of people, there's two types of people I usually see during the holidays. One, they love Christmas. They are Christmas fanatics. But the majority of people that I see are extremely stressed out about the holidays. You got to cook for the family. You got to go Christmas shopping. You got to do all these different things. It's a very stressful time. Maybe you want to hang around family members that you honestly just do not like. Most people that I hang around the holidays, to be straight up, I don't like them at all. And that's most of them are my family or my girlfriend's family. But that's like another conversation for another time. If you can relate to that, say I relate in the chat box here because that's my life. Now, let's talk about the plan to stay lean. So number one is you want to bring your calories up to maintenance. So this is something that you can talk to your head coach or you can figure out is most of you guys are in a calorie deficit. You're trying to lose weight, right? Now we have to understand during the holidays, the goal is not to lose weight. And I'm going to get into how that's going to work and how your body will keep body fat off, right? So you want to bring your calories back up to the maintenance level. This is going to give you that extra fuel to push for personal records in the gym. So when you're in a caloric deficit, you're consuming less foods, which means you got less calories to use for performance in the gym. You feel weaker, strength is not as up, it's harder to build lean muscle tissue. That's kind of like a normal process during a deficit. But now that we're fueling your body more, you want to push yourself. This is the time to push yourself, right? Do a hard leg day, enjoy Christmas dinner. That's like what I'm going for, right? And using that extra fuel is going to build lean muscle tissue, build strength, and it's going to help maintain that holiday weight off. So the goal here is to eat good food and to use it for training. Does that make sense, guys? If it does, say it makes sense in the chat box. Third, you want to maintain structure and balance, right? So organization is super key here. So let's say if you normally work out 5 days a week, you can only work out 3 days a week. Well, make it 3 days of hard workouts because now you got that extra fuel to push your body, right? It's really good. And then lastly, the goal is to enjoy the holidays guilt-free. I love my sweets. I love my goodies. I'm absolutely going to be eating and having some fun, but I'm going to be using that extra fuel for training so I don't put on any weight. So understanding maintenance calories. So maintenance calories is the number of calories your body needs a day in order to maintain its weight. Does that make sense? Right? So you got calorie deficit, which is the amount of calories you need to lose body fat, 1 to 2 pounds per week. Caloric maintenance, which is the amount of calories you need to maintain your weight. And then lastly is caloric surplus. So if you eat too much food, too much calories, your body's going to put on body fat. But we're going to address that later in the presentation. So the goal here is to get your body to your maintenance calories to maintain your weight. Right? So don't expect to lose weight during the holidays, especially if you got a lot of family plans and all that kind of stuff. You want to maintain it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make adjustments from your current caloric deficit. We want to add back 10 to 15% of your current calories. That can be anywhere from 250 to 500 calories per day, and some people up to 1,000 calories per day. So we want to give you essentially like calorie spike. It's going to fuel your body. And then what we want to do is we want to monitor how your body responds to it throughout the process. This is a very good strategy. A lot of our clients use this over the years. One of my best clients, her name was Nicole. She dropped 66 pounds of body fat, working out twice per week, has 3 kids, and we do this every single year for her. And she doesn't put on any weight at all. She looks shredded and really good year round, right? So the same for you guys, the same is possible for you. But again, we want to make sure that we increase calories and still train hard in order to get that. So put this in the chat box. Eat good during the holidays because we want to make sure that we're fueling the body. Now, we want to adjust our calories. So you need to be currently tracking your current intake, ideally. That's the big one. And you want to gradually add calories back up. So don't just go from 1,200 calories to 3,000 calories, because that's not a good idea. We want to slowly move our way up over the next couple of days going into the holidays. So we want to prioritize everyone's 2 favorite things, carbohydrates and fats. So when we're increasing calories up, you want to prioritize that. Keep protein either consistent to what your current macros are at or per 1 gram per pound of body weight, one of the 2. But we want to prioritize carbohydrates and fats during this increase. And then we want to monitor how our body feels, monitor how our energy levels feel. Are we getting stronger in the gym? Body weight stability. In my opinion, this is where stuff gets fun because now you can push yourself. So fueling our fitness goals. This is super important. Oh, close your eyes. You didn't see any of that. Fueling your fitness goals. So higher calories, put this in the chat box, equals better recovery and better energy. And that's one of the best parts about eating more food, especially during times like this. It's going to give you energies so you can push for better strength PRs in the gym. Now, strength PRs can come from many different forms. Doesn't mean about lifting more weight. Maybe it's better energy. Maybe it's better technique. Maybe for people who have injuries, maybe it's about okay, I can push for that rotation a little bit more. All of these things count. You can have increased training intensity. Like for me, I've already started to increase my calories up a little bit. And I was like, I got such a good training session the other day. I felt like my chest was going to pop out my shirt. And because of that extra added fuel. Plan your gym sessions around social events for balance. So if you know you got like an event coming up later that night, get a workout in the morning, right? Use the fuel from that event. Use your event to your advantage, right? Fuel and recover the body, and it's even a good idea to do your workout the next day after an event because then you've fed and fueled your body full of all of this food. And lastly, focus on progressive overload during this period, right? Focus on getting stronger, focus on pushing yourself, and focus on like gaining like a different aspect when it comes down to training. And again, it's a really good idea because everyone is going to be enjoying the holidays, so take advantage of it. Now, how can we navigate social events? Have you guys ever felt like going to a Christmas event, Christmas party, you're like, what the hell do I eat? Like, I don't want to like put on a ton of weight, right? I want to maintain on track, right? So number one, have some fun with it, but just I'll be frank, don't eat like an asshole, right? But have some fun. So number one, prioritize lean proteins. So throughout the day, you want to eat high protein, lower carbohydrate food, probably like protein and veggies going into your event. Planning your plate, a general rule of thumb is half vegetables, a quarter of it protein, and a quarter of the plate carbs. You can still have some good food with it, like snacks and stuff. Just don't like go too overboard. And then choose wisely. Enjoy small portions of high calorie food. Like I wouldn't sit there with like a box of cookies and finish the whole box of cookies. You know what I mean? Right? If you do this right and you prioritize protein, like you will feel pretty good and pretty satisfied. Right? Stay hydrated. Drink water between meals. Ideally, limit alcohol intake. If you're going to drink alcohol, my general rule of thumb is choose low calorie alcohol or non-sugar alcohol. I'm a big wine guy, so I usually like to go for a glass or two of wine with my food. And be realistic. One indulgent meal or day is not going to ruin your progress. It's a consecutive number of days. So one day is not going to kill you if you have Christmas dinner. Have fun, get back on track the next day. It's when people have Christmas Eve dinner, Christmas Day dinner. Oh, I might as well just keep going until January 1st every single day. That's when people gain 10 to 15 pounds of body fat. But if you just have like one day or one meal, don't stress about it so much. Now, why might the scale go up? Well, these are really important things to understand because they can really help with your psychology based on it. So, number one, anytime you eat a high carb or a salty meal, it can cause temporary water weight gain. That is not body fat gain. Water weight is a completely normal thing during the fat loss process, and your body will eventually regulate itself out. Super, super normal thing. Make sense, guys, on that one? Can we say it makes sense? Cool. I love that. So, glycogen replenishment. So, extra carbs store glycogen in muscles, which holds water. So, for every 1 gram of carbohydrate, you're looking at 3 grams of water, right? So, for every extra gram of carbs, your body will retain 3 grams of water on top of it. That's a normal thing. It's a very healthy thing for your body. So, as an example, a lot of people, when they do like a low carb diet or a keto diet, they notice the weight drops super fast. It's not body fat. A lot of it is just water because glycogen holds water. So when you're adding in more glycogen and more sodium, your body will retain water. It's not a bad thing. It will take a couple days for your body to rebalance out. Digestion. More food volume in your system can cause increased weight temporarily. The reason why is because you need to poop it out. It's going to come out and eventually will, right? But just know that sometimes when you eat a lump sum of food, especially at night, it takes a little bit for your body to like work through that digestion process. And like the reality check here, 1 to 2 pounds of real fat gain requires a caloric surplus of 3,500 to 7,000 calories. It's a lot of food, which is unlikely from eating like that on one day. You know what I mean? So if you're like that every single day, we will probably gain a couple pounds. But like realistically, eating 3,500 to 7,000 calories in one day is quite a lot of food. Doesn't typically happen for a lot of people unless you're someone like Cameron, who can really, really eat. All right, makes sense. What was your biggest takeaway from this one so far? Water retention, glycogen replenishment, digestion, reality check, understanding weight. Let me know in the chat box here. So stay in control. Number one, practice mindful eating. You always want to stay in control. Enjoy each bite and eat slowly. There is a psychological effect in the brain, which is proven to happen. After 20 minutes after eating a whole bunch of food, you will feel full. So take your time, chew your food. Don't just like stuff your face down. Focus on consistency over perfection. Don't get too dwelling on having one off meal or day. You deserve it. You enjoyed it. You worked hard all year or for however long you've been in this program for. It's completely okay. Give yourself permission to enjoy it. Don't beat yourself up the next day if the scale goes up a little bit because it's water weight, right? Just give yourself some grace and know it's just a number. Your body's going to balance back off. Next, get back to your plan immediately. The faster you can get back on the plan, the better you're going to like reduce the damage that will happen. And remember your long-term goals. Like, why are you doing this? I always like to remember what your why is and like what you're striving for long term. And lastly, focus on the people and the experience, not just food. I think we've really gotten away from like what the holidays and spending time with family is about. I think a lot of people get caught up on like enjoying it, but isn't enjoying it, or are we forgetting that we need to enjoy the experience with the people that we love most? So here is your guys' holiday game plan. Number one, transition to maintenance calories. You can try to figure this out on your own or communicate it with your coach, right? I suggest mostly communicating it with your coach so we can get you back to maintenance calories before the holidays happen and create your game plan. Use extra energy to crush PRs. This is where we can build all that lean muscle tissue, which is going to aid you in the fat burning process in the new year, which is a great game plan. Stay balanced, enjoy your favorite foods, right? And just have some fun. Prioritize protein and mindful eating, and understand and accept that weight fluctuations happen and they're totally okay. It does not mean you put on any body fat. So here's your homework. Share your holiday maintenance plan in the Facebook group. Tag myself or one of the coaches in there so we can keep you on accountability. And also, let's set some gym goals to aim for during this period. So my suggestion to you guys is create some gym goals that you would like to accomplish during the holiday season. And let's aim for that and absolutely crush it. And lastly, remember, progress isn't just weight loss. It's strength, confidence, and consistency.